Peace be with you, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Trevor. Really grateful to have you here. And in today's video, I'm just going to be going over a review of what I wore last week, this tail into February, moving into the beginning of March. So without further ado, I'm just going to get right into it. A note at the beginning, I decided this week that I was going to wear all niche fragrances. That was somewhat of a mistake, and I'll get into that further into the review. But starting off with Monday, so spring is really kind of getting its head going. I think it was still technically February on Monday last week, but it was 60 degrees, which is the warmest it's been here by me in a pretty long time. 60 and rainy, so really warm comparatively to what it's been, but raining. So I went with this fragrance right here, Reflection Man from Amouage. Luckily, this is one of the older formulations. It has the reflection written on the neck of the fragrance bottle here. I found out that that is the better versions of Amouage from Ramsey. You should go check his channel out. Definitely one of the most knowledgeable people in the community. But yeah, incredible wear, nice neroli bomb kind of. It has a little bit of a resemblance to like Prada L'Homme and Versace the Dreamer. It's not quite the same as those two fragrances, but kind of has that soapy, elegant sort of mysterious kind of vibe going on. Really great, ideal sort of niche fragrance. Definitely something that's easy to kind of get your foot in the door in niche. Definitely worth checking this one out. I haven't smelled the newer formulations of it, and I know that there's a newer release that's Reflection 45 that's kind of a higher concentration of oils with an emphasis on the kind of resins. Haven't got my hands on that one yet. I think that is going for like about $300, so a little bit pricey. It's probably why I'm waiting to kind of grab that one. But Monday we had Reflection from Amouage. Tuesday it was sunny and about 40 degrees, so the temperature was dropping back down again, but because it was nice and bright out, I wanted to reach for this one, and that is 40 Knots from Xerjoff. So my first impressions of this one, I did get kind of like a marine toothpaste is sort of the vibe that I was getting off of it. It has a really kind of brisk mentholic opening, so the more I've spent time with this one, though, the more I can see why people are comparing it to Ambre Nuit. People are saying that there's a rose note in here. They like the note listings on Fragrantica and Parfumo, I think, are misleading. I think characterizing this to be a somewhat of an Ambre Nuit clone is apt. I've never smelled Ambre Nuit, but the notes listed for Ambre Nuit are rose and amber. So with this one, I don't really get rose in terms of the scent profile, but I do get like a textural feel of rose. I think that's kind of like a very cold rose is sort of like what gives me that mentholic opening. And then there's this greenness that's in there that I think it's like more of like a green floral rose. And then the ambergris that I think is in here also kind of mixes with that greenness and the coldness of the rose that gives it a little bit of like that saltiness mixed with the greenness that gives me that sort of creamy toothpaste marine vibe. But then also, like in the air, I've had people around me say that this smells like apple cinnamon, and I definitely, when I returned to this, it was on my clothes the next day, and I could really pick up the cinnamon pretty heavily. So for me, I feel like this is sort of like an ambergris rose cinnamon, not really quite the yacht club kind of scent profile, but it does kind of, especially in the air outside, it does give me a little bit of that kind of brisk sort of like I said, like a marine toothpaste is sort of like what I get when I'm wearing it. But then, like I said, when I came back to it, it definitely had more of like a cinnamon dry down, I guess you could say. So really interesting fragrance. I picked this up for like $180 on a box day sale from Fragrance Buy. I think it is kind of basic. It is really good if you wanted to have sort of like a signature scent or like a unique blue fragrance. I think this is pretty versatile in that sense, but kind of basic if you're a frag head. So I would say you could probably skip this one, but sample it if you're interested. But other than that, it is a little bit I don't know, it's very linear, I guess, is what I was trying to say. So, but still an enjoyable wear on Tuesday, 40 Knots from Xerjoff. Okay, so Wednesday was March 1st, and it was 40 degrees again, still sunny out, kind of the same weather that we had going on for Tuesday. And so I went with Green Irish Tweed. Just definitely kind of matched the kind of briskness that was going on, being only 40 degrees, but since it was sunny and bright and I could see like the greenness of the grass starting to come through and the birds were chirping, and you know, there was just definitely that spring vibe going on. I wanted to go for this nice, soapy, clean, grassy, a little minty from the lemon verbena, a little bit powdery from the iris in here. Beautiful, beautiful scent profile. Real shame that Creed's been watering down their fragrances because I could see this being so incredible if it was a little bit more potent, but I still get like a good 4 to 5 hours of really strong projection and longevity on this, and then it kind of becomes a skin scent after that. But one of the best Irish Spring soap kind of scent profiles I've got my nose on. I did own Tres Nuits before I pulled the trigger on this one, and that one kind of it gave me a little bit of a headache and was slightly synthetic, so I am glad that I went for the original on that scent profile. I haven't tried Al Haramain's Levenshire Night, I think is another clone, but definitely you know, worth sampling this one because it is a classic, and it was great wearing this for spring. That was Wednesday, Green Irish Tweed. Okay, Thursday, so it was cloudy on Thursday, so it was a little bit more dark, still hanging out around the 40 degree mark though, and so spring was still kind of, I could feel it in the air. It was trying to break through even though it was still a little bit damp and cold. Went with this one, Mousse Illuminée from Rogue Perfumery. Translates to illuminated moss. Really kind of bitter greens. It uses real oak moss, so it's in defiance of the IFRA regulations. It is a little bit more bright, despite its bitterness too. I get a little bit of like a lemon lime vibe in the air off of this one, and then it's got a really nice creamy shaving foam underneath of it all. Despite it's not really like a barbershop fragrance. Despite that shaving cream vibe, it's really more of like an aromatic fougere. But it's probably not everyone's cup of tea. I will say that it's definitely more niche in that sense. But I particularly love this fragrance. It just is like totally in my wheelhouse. A little bit more of that retro, old school kind of greenness. You know, like the more I move into my fragrance journey, the more like oak moss and those old school greens appeal to me. But really enjoy wearing this one. I had to really fight myself to not wear it multiple days this week because I do enjoy it so much. Definitely worth getting a sample. Check it out. I got mine off of I got this full bottle off of Lucky Scents. I blind bought it. Really happy I did, but you know, if you're not comfortable doing that, check out a sample from Mousse Illuminée, Rogue Perfumery. I might make this my scent of the day today. Definitely a favorite addition to my collection. Okay, so that was Thursday. Friday. So Friday I made a mistake. Because I was kind of pigeonholing myself into wearing only niche this week, I went for this fragrance, Desert Toxic from Micallef. However, okay, so Friday we had a really bad snowstorm. This was probably the heaviest amount of snow that we've had all of winter. I mean, technically, I think spring doesn't start until the 20th of March. So it was still winter when the snowstorm happened. It was the heaviest snowfall that we had all winter. It started off as really cold rain, and it was coming down really heavy, and then the temperature was dropping, and then it started becoming these big, huge, wet snowflakes, and then it started getting colder and colder, and then it was just like a heavy whipping around snowstorm. I was wearing this one. It was just kind of a easy reach grab blue fragrance that was in the niche category. I was still out working, delivering food for the restaurant. So you know, this was like just a safe, versatile fragrance, I guess you could say, since I was working with the public that day. Not a bad fragrance. The only reason I made a mistake was because given the weather, it would have been the perfect opportunity to wear this one right here, Dior Fahrenheit Parfum. This is what I wish I was just longing to be smelling this in that snowstorm, especially when it started off as the cold rain and then moved into the big wet snowflakes. This is what I wish I would have been wearing Friday. So a little bit of a mistake there since I like put myself in the box of niche fragrances, but nonetheless, this is what I wore Friday. This is like I said, just a nice kind of versatile blue niche fragrance. It's got a little bit of a cannabis note. Black currant is the main player here. Some really nice kind of sweet earthiness going on as well. I think I paid about $120 or $130 for this on Aura Fragrance. I don't think it's really worth that much more, and this one's going for about the same price. Definitely, I think this is the better fragrance, but this one's maybe worth sampling. I don't think it's quite worth the hype that it gets. I think it's a little bit, I don't know, it just doesn't wow me like that, but I do think it is, you know, a pretty awesome blue fragrance if you're looking for something versatile. And I think it is a little bit more interesting than 40 Knots, to be honest. So that was Friday, Desert Toxic and Mikolev. Saturday, it dropped back down, or like I guess it raised up because the snowstorm. It was like the low 30s, so we were getting back into the 40s on Saturday. A little bit cloudy, just kind of a relaxing day for me. I wasn't really doing much. I just had my daughter. My wife was working. I did a little bit of laundry, and so I reached for Penhaligon Sartorial. Spoken about this one a few times on the channel. Just did a video about fragrances that make me happy. This was one of them that was on there. Beautiful, beautiful barbershop fragrance. Excellent lavender. A really unique beeswax note in here. It gives it a little bit of warmth, and then it has like this vibe of like steam coming off of ironed clothes as well. One of the best barbershop fragrances that I've ever got my nose on. Just so enjoyable and relaxing, and you know, definitely niche. It definitely has it's a fragrance that tells a story for sure. And that was Saturday, Penhaligon Sartorial. And finally, from the same perfumer that did Penhaligon Sartorial for Saturday, or Sunday, sorry. Sunday, the sun was popping out. It was getting a little bit warmer. It was like 50 degrees, and the, you know, spring was kind of in full effect with a little bit of that briskness in the air yet. So I went with this one, Enchanted Forest from Vagabond Prince. So this is kind of telling in the name. It gives you a little bit of like you know, a fir forest, like a pine fir forest that you're walking out into with this like magical, almost like pink feeling of like pink pixie dust from the black currant and the other fruits that's going on in here. Definitely, I think, you know, Jeremy compared this to the, I think Dalaran is the name of the home city for the Night Elves in World of Warcraft. This definitely kind of evokes the imagery of that place if you're familiar with that game series. Yeah, just awesome fruitiness with like some really nice green but fresh balsam fir vibes going on. A lot of notes in this one, really complex, but one of my favorite sort of just green fruity fragrances. Fresh spring. Awesome experience wearing this one. I was catching whiffs of it for the entire day. It was very long lasting. I actually was still smelling this coming off me in the shower today, which was we're here on Monday the next day. So unfortunately, I don't think you can find this one very easily right now. I think they ran out of stock at the Vagabond Prince's website, and I don't know if they plan on restocking. I think Robes08 put this on his unicorns bottle list because it is very hard to find, and he was searching pretty, you know, high and low to get a backup bottle after he ran out of this one. So if you do see this one, definitely scoop it up. You know, I think it retailed for $180, so somewhere in that ballpark. If you can find one of these on like Mercari or eBay in the States, definitely worth having in your collection if you are a collector, because this is a for sure collector's piece. So that was my niche week in my fragrance rotation that I did all niche for the kind of first week of March here. I think I made a little bit of a mistake doing that because I missed out on a great opportunity to wear this one on Friday, but you know, lesson learned. I'm gonna be going back to wearing what I want when I want and trying to match the day with what it is presenting itself with. So let me know what your weekly rotation was in the comment section down below. I appreciate you sticking with me to the end of this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.